Hi Yasmin, thank you so much for your time this evening. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Rosie. Yeah, and not a problem. I'm only too happy to help anyone going on this path or this journey.
Okay, well, thanks
Um,
so much. I'm sure
yeah.
they'll really appreciate it because the best way for people to learn how hypnotism works and does it work is from hearing from people like yourself that have already gone through it. So, first of all, will you share with us the biggest difference that you would have found, from using our hypnotism classes compared to other methods that you've used in the past to lose weight?
All right. Well, I have a big list, so I have notes here beside me. The biggest thing, and I still say it, it's what you call it, failure to plan is planning to fail, and that's really what instilled with me. For me personally, I have tried many a diet beforehand, and or in the past, I have, and for as soon as I'm not a one that doesn't mind not eating or is restricted in food, but it was my mindset because as soon as I would have my big bowl of porridge in the morning, if I was on a diet, um, it was a thought of, oh my God, I'm on a diet. And I would literally be leaving the house, going into work, which is what used to be a journey. And in that 8 minutes, I was thinking of my lunch and I was nearly getting hungry thinking of it. So that's where I always failed because I was always looking at it as a restriction as opposed to your mindset changing. So from the get-go, from the session, my whole eating habits changed after my first session with you.
Brilliant.
And it was like that, changing to the looking at what you're eating, and like having a breakfast in the morning. Be some mornings, because I'm on the road constantly, I might be up and on the road at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning. That's not a time that you want to be eating because it's not, say, your regular time. So I would stop then en route and maybe grab a coffee, but I could grab something to eat then, which could be sausages, it could be what you call it, a breakfast roll, or it could be even what you call it, the sausage rolls.
Yeah.
So that's where my habit used to be bad because I was on the road so often. But now, if I know I'm getting up early tomorrow morning to go somewhere, I will be up that 5 minutes extra, or I will be, you know, the way you normally in the morning be pottering around and then you go, oh God, I have to leave, right? It would be a case of like that. Now I'll actually look at the time, get down the stairs, and either have my smoothie made or I will boil some eggs, throw them into a container and bring them with me so
Brilliant.
that I can do it on route as opposed to stopping. Now I'll still stop for my coffees and stuff, but that's to keep me awake.
Yeah, and that's all
Um,
right. You
yeah,
can still have your coffees, but it's about stopping that convenience foods as well, isn't it? And
yeah,
it's something really important there when you say it's just 5 minutes earlier, but it's the mind shift, isn't it? Getting people to recognize that at a subconscious level. It is only an extra 5, 10 minutes, maybe.
yeah,
Technically, I suppose we should spend 10 to 15 minutes eating our meal because
yeah,
it takes time to for the brain to register that it's full
yeah, yeah,
and the stomach's full. But for you, yeah, that's a great change, isn't it? And
yeah. But
failure to
like,
plan is planning to fail. Yeah, that's something I
yeah,
heard us singing in your.
yeah. And but like that now, I would carry the shake with me, so I would be drinking it over 20 minutes or so, and I would be mindful of it. That and sometimes I will bring, if I have a smoothie with me, I won't finish it because I'm very conscious as well of, and even when with the smoothie is stopping
Yeah,
and putting your fork and knife down. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
That it's giving yourself that time or to recognize that, yes, I am full. Or another thing that really stuck with me is we all know it's the size of our fist, but we keep eating. Why do we keep eating? Because it tastes yummy. Now, I would have been an eater where I would always leave the last mouthful to be the nicest. Whereas now I keep the first mouthful be nicest and go that way because I don't get the last mouthful anymore because it's
brilliant.
late. And then
Push this.
yeah, or else I'll keep it to the side and say, okay, you know the way when you feel okay, I'm getting full now, and then I just have my last mouthful and that'll be it. So it's just the whole mindset around that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great, isn't it?
And recognizing, like I noticed with my water as well, I bought this. I know everyone has this, but this is a 2 litre one. I don't know, can you see it?
Oh, can give
Um,
the gist of the size of it anyway. So it's two
yeah,
liters.
it's massive,
Yeah.
but it's like that. You have to fill a 1 litre a second time, and I don't necessarily get to a shop. But like I would have that gone by about 3 or 4 o'clock,
Brilliant.
um, because I do a lot of talking as well. Whereas when you have the cups, you're thinking, oh, well, how many ounces are in that cup?
Mm.
So I would have been always very good for drinking my water. Um, but I'm drinking, I'm more conscious of making sure that I get, because when I wake up in the morning, I'll have a pint of water. So that's what, 500 mils.
Okay,
I'll
brilliant.
always have another half pint before I go to bed. So I've like that, maybe a litre drank even in them space. And then I have the two then
Fantastic. So
throughout
you're
the day.
hitting
Yeah.
3 liters. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And you know, it shows because you've had great results over the last while. And just before I ask you how you get on, just I know it broke up slightly. What you had said was your stomach was the size of your fist. That was the thing that, just in case anyone's watching this back and they're wondering what you said, it just froze slightly, but that's fine. We
Oh,
don't
okay.
go over it again. So you've completed the 6 week course. So how much weight did you lose in the 6 weeks, or even how many inches? Some people measure
Oh,
that way.
do you know what? I didn't do my inches
That's okay.
to start off, because I thought in my head, if I do that and I don't see results, that's where my negativity will hit in, right? And we can be our worst critic as well. So I did the second cycle then. That's why I did the second cycle of the 12 weeks. To For me, it was the, what you call it, the releasing of the anger, or the anger towards somebody. As I've spoken to you, I had cancer, so I had a lot of wanting to get rid of that anger. I didn't want to hold on to it. But also, when I did the second cycle, I what I released towards myself and the negative self, because you know the way you have that self-doubt, or even for me personally, I might lose weight before and then it would come to a standstill, and that's where the negativity would come in.
Mm.
And I would start, then that's where it start creeping, because I would have been an emotional eater, where I'd be like going, oh, well, this is it again, this is happening, and then it would go up. But the reason I did the course was with the medication that I'm on, weight gain is a side effect. And
Mm.
I said I'd lost a lot of weight before I got sick. And then through treatment, some of it came back on. So somebody had recommended you. And that's why I said, I'm going to give this a go, because nothing else had happened. And now, after 12 weeks, I'm down 22 pounds.
Woohoo. That's
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I know it's going to keep going. There was, I think, 1 week I was just down very little, but generally, but like in that now, I know that if I'm 1 week, say I'm down again, like I was down again, I weighed myself this morning, even though we finished last week. I will do maybe a Wednesday morning and just test, because like that, we will have bad weeks. I had a wedding last weekend, and I thought when I got in sales, I was going, oh my God, I'm going to be up. I have to be up. Like, but I wasn't. I was down one. I couldn't believe it, because it was, yeah, it was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I came home one day, and
Okay.
it was up in Donegal, and you are wild up there.
We know how to do a good wedding, don't we?
Oh my God.
You know what? Even to clarify in that, I know we spoke about it, and yeah, there might be a few drinks, and that's fine. You're still living in the real world, but can you share with us how your food choices were over that weekend? That I mean, were you eating the really large portions, or was it sensible?
No, I remember the day of the wedding, they had, the way you'd have your starter, they'd soup, and then they'd main course and desserts. So I had the starter, which was a salad, and I didn't finish that because I was wanting to have the sea bass for the mains. And I had more. I look at the veg. I eat the veg now, and the whatever meat or fish it is. The potatoes kind of would be the last thing. But yeah, so I did eat the sea bass. Don't think I finished that. I didn't have the soup, and I didn't have dessert.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm delighted to
Um,
hear that.
yeah.
That was a real fancy question for me to ask you. I was like, I'm presuming now that, because, and that's how much I believe in this, and I know that you've changed. So
Yeah.
I could trust that no bother to you,
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
things, and you can still have your few drinks and you can enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And there's none of this, oh God. Well, like you didn't fall off the bandwagon with the food anyway, but usually when people are on diets, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know myself too from the past, when you're on a diet, there's that feeling of deprivation and there's always that conflict in your head, oh, I want that, but no, I'm on a diet. And then
Yeah.
when people get to the event, say if it's a wedding, well, I fit into my dress now or just about or whatever, it's almost like it's all off,
Yeah.
whatever I want. And then it can take people a long time to get back on the bandwagon,
Yeah.
back on track. So then it spirals, the weight comes on. Whereas for you, what's the difference this time? Say you go to the wedding and you didn't even overeat, but you were
And
afraid that, weren't you? Because you were a little bit off track. Because obviously there was probably more drinks than normal. You wouldn't be doing that
yeah.
in the week. So what did it feel like then? The next like Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, it felt fine. I was like that. What you call the only thing I knew. The only reason, the only thing I would have said was, with when you have drinks, we liked our crisps and our pick. We start picking. Um, I wouldn't like. There was. I remember somebody getting taters. There was taters somewhere. Is there always taters at an Irish wedding? Tater sandwiches come out or something. I don't know what it was.
O'clock in the morning. It's 1 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning.
But like that, didn't want them. I haven't eaten any kind of, now I wouldn't have been a big eater of them anyway, but like if I had a glass of wine or two or maybe three in an evening, if I was here at home, the Doritos would come out and I could eat a whole packet. I was really kind of savory, that not so much. Now it's not that I will, and I think it's because I'm not saying, no, you can't have it. I just don't want them. And that was from the very first session.
Mm.
I remember, I think I told you this, where I was coming home after, maybe there was a Thursday, the Friday after the first session we had on the Wednesday. And I was absolutely starving in the car. And that's normally where I would run in somewhere, whether it's a takeaway or what you call it, into a deli and grab something ridiculous that I don't need just to keep me going until I get home.
Mm.
And I remember stopping in a shop. I went to a garage. I think I got diesel sales at the same time. But I went into the shop and I went over to the deli and I couldn't pick anything out. There was nothing I wanted. I went over looking for sandwiches. No, there was nothing. I ended up getting some fruit. Do you know the way you get the mixture of fruit?
Yeah.
And I took that with me and went home.
Happy.
So yeah, and like it wasn't, and you know the way normally when you would have been when I would have been on previous diets or watching what I ate, I'd be going in going, just once,
Yeah.
and then that's where the habit then is unkicked, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, brilliant. So, because you have changed, and that's from using hypnosis, like you've changed how you feel towards them. So when you go into these delis and that, you're looking at it, like I've already put this in your head. You have a choice. You can eat whatever you want. Because
yeah,
if I tell you to not eat something, that's the only thing you're going to want. So conscious
yeah,
doesn't register the can't or the don't, the negative.
yeah,
So when you've changed how you feel towards them, then that is a typical example of when you go in and you can have it, you don't actually want it. Because you could have
yeah.
picked it up, you know?
Oh
It's a
yeah,
world. So you can do what you want. That's brilliant.
yeah.
Um,
And I think for me as well, and this is obviously your magical powers, Rose. Um, when do you know the way when you get us to picture putting everything into the bag and squeezing the bag like that, even thinking of it now, my stomach will churn. So I think the stuff that I push into the bag, if I go into the shop and see that, I'm like, oh no, and I'll walk.
Great crack, isn't it? I love it. And that's because, like we know at this stage, the process that I use. It's very powerful. It is brilliant, but it also requires like I can bring 50% of it to the table. You brought the other full 50. And
Yeah,
that's where you get change. So this is not for anyone looking for a quick fix. Oh, I just want to lose a few pounds. Or this is for people
yeah,
who
no.
really want to change habits, because you've got to, the effort is put in when you're in the class to make the changes. Was it just the savory foods? I know you mentioned Doritos, but what would be the main issues, I suppose, food wise, that you would have had a problem with? With some people, it's having the biscuits or sitting on the couch in the evening and mindless snacking. What would have been your biggest thing that we would have
It,
helped with?
it would have been Doritos. I wouldn't have said they were a major thing for me. But like that, the kind of the boredom eating. But for me, would have been the biggest change that I would have seen is eating when I'm on the go.
Okay.
So if I was coming home, and I know, say for example, Junction 14 or Junction 23, if I was up in Dublin for the day, I'd be stopping one of them. And I don't want to, like, when you're on the road all day, you just want to get home.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking for the quickest fix. So like that, to get a dinner and sit down with it, you're not going to. So I used to be like going to the Supermax, or like we used to be super. So it'd be something fast that I can eat on the road and still drive.
Okay.
So that would have been, yeah, even like that, I wouldn't have done it. I would have thought I didn't do it as much, but I'm conscious now that I'm not doing it, that I would have done it more than I thought I was admitting to.
Right.
But
Okay. So you're
um,
there. Yeah.
but also my portion sizes. Like I would have said before I did the course that I wouldn't have eaten that much. Like compared to some people I know, and I'll say my brother, I don't know where he puts it. I honestly don't.
I hope he's not
Like,
watching this.
uh, I really don't know where he know. I've said it to him before. He know I don't know where he puts it.
Yeah.
But like that, I wouldn't eat big sizes. But I've noticed that my size has reduced as well. And like people are saying to me, Yasmin, you're not eating. What are you doing? Why aren't you finishing? And I'm like, well, what's wrong with it? And I'm like, well, guys, your stomach is the size of your fist. I've eaten that.
So back off.
Yeah,
No, it's
get
like
away from
that.
me.
People get concerned then, don't they? Because they notice there's a change of your behavior. And like there's such a thing as feeders out there as well. I remember one lady saying it's so hard to say no to your mother-in-law when she's offering cake. I said, no, it's not. So I've been
Yeah,
working on that one. And I said it's perfectly fine to say no, because they're also programmed to feed you, and they're
yeah,
programmed to eat the way that they're programmed to. So yeah, when you make a change, then it can be really noticeable, but the most important thing is that it's noticeable for you. So,
yeah.
so now that you've done the course with us, um does it comfort you knowing that there's that maintenance option, that it's as a safety net to fall back in, that you
Oh
can
God, yeah.
time? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I know with the audios as well, like I have them, I can listen to them if I ever need to. And your support has just been absolutely amazing. And you see so many different courses where as soon as you finish the course, that's it, you're done. You hear nothing else. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? And then that's where the negativity can keep coming back in. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
having that option there of the maintenance, and I think that's why I decided to do the second round straight away.
Mm,
Because as like per our conversation initially, I have a target for my birthday, but I had also a target for that wedding. So I've reached that target, and now the next target is my wedding. And I think it's just to changing your mindset that it's, and I suppose not putting unrealistic goals on yourself as well. Do you know what I mean? Because when you put unrealistic goals on yourself and it doesn't happen,
mm,
like I think a lot of the times when people do diets, myself included in the past, I want to see weight loss, and it's like I want to see 10 pounds gone this week. Why haven't I lost 10 pounds? Whereas mine
mm,
has been gradual, and it's still going gradual. Do you know what I mean? So for that, and to know that if I did start maybe seeing the negativity coming in a little bit, that I can come back and have a chat with yourself and maybe do a few more lessons.
Yeah, and that's what it's really there for. You know, most people will come in for the 6 weeks, make the changes, but I'm conscious that some people in the class could have half a stone to lose. There's others that could have 12 or 13 stone to lose, and the care that they need and support throughout that journey is going to vary. And actually, you
Yeah,
touched on something there really interesting, about, you know, the way there's this notion that we've all been programmed, right, by the media and the billion-dollar industry that's out there, which is the weight loss industry, that £2 a week is a nice, safe way to lose your weight.
yeah,
But when you think of it, why would you want to slowly, like deliberately in your subconscious, make the decision to slowly lose the weight that's on your body that can actually cause disease? Why would you slowly want to do it? So it's a little thing that's just been thinking a bit about lately, that, you know, if we're conditioned to believe it, well, then that's all we think. Like, I've had people, some of the amount of weight they've lost has been extraordinary, but it hasn't been the weight that everybody has lost. I mean,
yeah,
the most in 6 weeks that someone has lost is 34, and there's been 2 people that have lost 33. But you're not going out saying to everyone, listen, that's normal. You can lose all,
yeah.
you know. And there was one guy at one stage hit 19 pound in the first week. Now, that's not typical.
Oh
It's
my
not
God.
typical. Like,
Yeah,
I can safely say the average in the first week would be 3 to 4 pound. And that's just from since January 2020 and all the classes that I've done. You know, it
yeah,
varies from class to class as well. But it doesn't shock me anymore to see a half stone or a 9 pound. You're like, yes, I really got into their head last week, you know.
yeah,
You see that coming through. It's so yeah, this notion of it should only be £2 a week is just something we've been told. But actually, when you keep it in a calorie deficit, you eat when you're hungry, you stop when you're full. It's amazing how much that our body can lose, and the water is key, isn't it?
yeah,
Water,
yeah,
flushing it out, because if you're not drinking enough water, your body's holding on to it. And I'm not saying you, just in general, the body's holding on to it, and then it needs to know that it's going to be replaced. So if you're drinking the, like you are yourself, and you're having great results, the 3 liters a day, your body knows it's safe to let it go, because it's going to be replenished each day. Like, we're made up,
yeah.
it's 70% water. So I know I'm going on and on about that, but it's just something you said there. I thought I would elaborate on it. And just now, having done it, are you confident in recommending the program to people that are watching?
Oh, I was going to be smart there, but yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just in case their camera freezes, please
Yeah.
don't. Yeah,
Oh yeah, 100%. But again, it would be because somebody, and a friend of mine that I go walking with, has mentioned it to me, and she was like, "Oh God, I'd love that now because I have such happening." And I said, "No, no." I said, "It's not just a quick fix. This is long term."
mm,
And as I say to anyone that I'm talking to, um, what you call it, that I said, Rosie will talk to you. I said, get in contact with her through Facebook. I said, Rosie will talk to you. And like, it's basically, you go through all the, and you've 101 questions when you're talking to somebody that you know yourself whether it's going to work for somebody. Because if somebody just wants to lose a few pounds for their wedding that's in 4 months or 4 weeks, you know that they're going to go back on the chocolate or the crisps or whatever else that they have come off. But if that's the case, just do that for the 4 weeks. Hypnoslim is like, I know this is going to be for life.
yeah, that's it.
It's just changed your mindset completely towards food.
Brilliant.
Um, and it's a like, you can appreciate food. I love food. I worked in a food company for years, and I really appreciate food, but I don't finish it all now. And like before, where you'd have a plate of fabulous food, you'd be busting yourself to finish it because you're thinking, I'm insulting the chef, or people looking at going, well, what's wrong with you? Was it rotten or something?
Yeah,
Or else you're just going, oh my God, it's so good, I can't leave it behind, but you can.
you can, absolutely.
Yeah,
Because when you change your mindset and understand you're finally treating your body with the respect that you've deserved for all these years, it's much easier.
yeah.
There's always going to be enough food. Yeah. And just lastly, would you be willing to give us another update in a couple of months?
Oh my God, 100%. Yeah. I will be showing you, what are we now? April, May, June, July. Yeah. It'll be the big one, as I told you, in August.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said yesterday, the big 4-0, yes. And I said, that's right. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that's my next target. And even like I was saying the other day, that the dress that I wore for the wedding, everyone's like, oh my God, Yasmin, you look fantastic, you look wonderful, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I was saying, God, I really do love the dress. And because I bought it when I had a bit more weight on. So it was hanging even better on me when I'd lost a bit more weight. And then I was like, going, God, I could wear this for my birthday, because people that were at the wedding not necessarily going to be. And then I was like, oh no, you won't, Yasmin, because at that stage you'll need a new dress.
Yeah, you'll be
Yeah.
flipping it off to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Downsizing. Oh, thanks so
Yeah.
much for your time this evening, sharing your
No
experience. It's
problem.
really good. I
Thank
feel
you
like
so much.
myself, it's hard to for people to understand what it's all
Yeah.
about. Yeah. And as you said there, it's not a quick fix. It is for people who are in the zone for change, that they really want to get to that ideal weight, size, and shape, you know.
Yeah.
It's really what it is. Okay. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much, and
Perfect.
in touch. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Lovely, jubbly.
Bye.
Bye.
If you'd like more information about how our HypnoSlim program works, just send us a message. We'd be delighted to have a chat with you. Bye for now.